So here we have a lesson regarding electronic voting machine or EVM. So what EVM looks like, it has a problem statement that we know: design a Verilog module for an electronic voting machine that has the following functionality. So we know that a EVM is an electronic voting machine that supports more than 4 or 5 candidates for its candidature. So we have to design a Verilog module in which we have the EVM. First, the EVM should support voting for up to 4 candidates, candidate 1, 2, 3 and 4. And second, the EVM should have 2 modes of operation, that is the voting mode 0, and display mode 1. We know that when we are voting, we go to the EVM and we press the candidate selection, we press the button and we vote for the same. Whereas in display mode, we display the picture like a VVPAT or some others, like which one is, or while counting we get that EVM has something, candidate 1 or candidate 3 or candidate 2 has been selected, or candidate 4 has been selected. So that displays in the mode 1 or display mode. So we have to just design a Verilog module for an electronic voting machine in which first we have the EVM should support up to 4 candidates, candidate 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the EVM should have 2 modes of operation: voting mode 0, and display mode 1. In voting mode 0, the EVM should accept button presses corresponding to the candidate selections, in which the candidate is selected by the voted person, which one is voting to the same. And second, when the voting period ends, indicated by the sufficient time input being set to 2-B11, it means the EVM should log the votes for each candidate. And thereafter, in display mode 1, the EVM should display the current vote count for each candidate based on the button press. That is, pressing the button for candidate 1 should display the vote count for candidate 1, and so on. Second, the EVM should have a reset input to reset the vote counts and the state of the machine. So this is the problem statement that we have to look. This problem statement is, first in the voting mode we have some EVM in the voting mode, that is mode 0, that is indicated by the sufficient time input being set to 2-B11. And the second one is display mode, that is pressing the button for candidate 1 should display the vote count for candidate 1, and pressing the button for candidate 2 should display the vote count for candidate 2, or respectively all fours. The second one is the EVM should have a reset input to reset the vote count and the state of the machine. The test case scenario is the reset condition. Verify that after reset, the EVM is the ideal state and all the vote counts are reset to 0. The second one is the transition to voting mode 0. Verify that when the EVM transitions to voting mode 0, it accepts button presses for candidate selections. And second one is to verify that when the voting period ends, sufficient time is set to 2-B11, the EVM logs the vote for each candidate correctly. Transition to display mode, that is mode 1, verifies that when the EVM transition to display mode 1, pressing a candidate button displays the corresponding vote count. Multiple candidate voting, verify that the EVM can handle voting for multiple candidates in voting mode 0, and display the current vote counts in display mode 1. And the other as boundary conditions, verify the EVM handles the case when no votes are cast for a particular candidate. Vote count should be 0. When there is no vote is cast for the particular candidate, the EVM handles the case when no votes are cast for particular candidate. Verifies that the EVM handles the case when votes are cast for all candidates. Reset for after voting, verifies that after the voting and display process, the EVM can be reset and the vote counts are cleared. Simultaneous button presses verifies that the EVM handles the case when multiple buttons are pressed simultaneously. Example: if buttons are for candidates 1 and 3 are pressed together, the vote counts for both candidates would be incremented. So this is the test case scenario for our EVM. First one is the reset condition. Verifies that after reset the EVM is in the idle state and all the vote counts are reset to 0. Means all the when after first one type of voting, the all vote counts are reset to 0. Second one is a transition to voting mode, mode 0. Verifies that when the EVM transitions to voting mode, mode 0, it is button presses for candidate selections and thereafter move forward to transition to display mode, mode 1, and then multiple candidate count voting when more than one candidate are to be voted. Boundary conditions when EVM handles the case when no votes are cast for a particular candidate, and verifies that EVM handles the case when votes are cast for all candidates, and thereafter reset after voting and simultaneous button presses. So this is the test case scenario and the problem statement. We will look for the problem statement for electronic voting machine ahead. Thanks for today. Thanks. Just have this question and just solve this problem statement. Thanks to all.